What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. Big shout out to my doggy Martin Skirsis for coming through and boosting up the coin. You best believe it. So, we got some breaking news, leaked news right now regarding Anthony John Stewart. He's broken his silence, and these are the bars directly from the horse's mouth.
You know, hunger makes me more hungry, makes me want to work harder, because time is of the essence. Time is limited, so I just want to put in more work. 2024, when I look back, I believe I could have done more, and now I have another chance in 2025 to do more. I'm going to make sure that I take every opportunity that comes my way.
Okay. The chance for you to be a three-time world champion is still not over. What shot are you giving at this? We saw what happened between you and Daniel. And would you think you should have done some things differently?
Of course, I should have won, but I didn't. And I'm going to go again. Ups and downs, they happen. Some people is always up. My life is up and down. So I've got to get used to the turbulent times and keep riding the wave. I can't stop now. I have to keep going until I reach my destination.
Okay, what are you targeting this year?
Three-time world champion. And Tyson Fury.
Tyson. So when is that happening?
We're not sure, but that's my target. 2025, I'm targeting Tyson Fury.
Okay, but we saw Tyson Fury and then Usyk. With what he delivered against Usyk, do you think you have a chance against him?
We'll see. Let us get in the ring. Only God knows. But for me, we'll see in the future.
Listen, man, let me tell you something now, people. Being religious or whatever is one thing. In my opinion, all that, man. I'm doing this plumb with some serious harm. Yeah. What's Fury going to do? What? I don't understand what's going through these guys' heads. Whether you're going to outbox someone or walk straight into them is irrelevant. You have to have bad, nasty intentions. I'm doing that big balabus Benidorm expats on proper arm. Never mind God. He's getting it. It comes from within you, right? You can't, AJ's talking about, oh man, the Romans, and I've been looking at kings and queens, and I've been looking at big meat, and only God knows. You can know too. Yeah? If you believe in religious stuff and that, they say he works through you. You don't just sit back on autopilot. It's not a video game where God's going to be like, yeah, left, right, left, right. You have to go in there with nasty intentions and summon that energy from your own way of, you know what I mean, your own bad mind. That's where it comes from. Oh man, only God knows what I'm going to do with Tyson Fury. Really? So he's finished. I've heard enough from this guy. I've been heard enough from this guy, but he's definitely finished now. He's still, fate, and I want to be free time, but I also want to fight Fury. Someone in the comments made a good point. AJ says he wants to become three-time world champ, not make the rematch with Dubois. So he's not really that interested in becoming. What's he can do? Rebuild? Oh, I'm going to fight Fury. To be fair, if he beat Fury twice, I guess it will be. There is an angle there towards surely Dubois will give him a shot. Or Usyk will definitely give him another shot. Both of them two will give him another shot. So it's not necessarily bad advice. If you can lock in more turkeys around now, Fury's got nowhere to go. Fury loves making money. Yeah, he don't want to go back to selling your nan moody driveways, does he? Yeah, he don't want to go back to bumping. He don't want to go back on tour bumping the old folk for their new driveways they never get. So he's gonna. He said himself, even when he was half on top. But yeah, the AJ fight will always be there. I do think it will happen now, particularly with Turkey, particularly because they both got nowhere else to go. That is the. I honestly think. My only issue with what he said here is that forget about free time, that free time rubbish. Just be told the truth, yeah? You don't want free times. You want Tyson Fury. You don't even want him, you want the money. That's what Tyson Fury wants. Look at this here. If I become a billionaire, I could. All this rubbish, man. What are you going to do with that money? You already paid, you'd like to think, right? Unless Eddie Hearn's been digging your pocket out on the sly. You already paid. What's $1 billion? $100 million? It gets to a point where, what are you going to do? Buy $1 billion super yacht? Really? You can only sleep in one bed at any given point in time. And even if you have a house here, how many more? It gets a bit mad. So I don't know why he's been this way for a while. He's been this way since day one, probably. Just loved the money, loved the coin too much, man. Loved the coin too much, and not the spirit of the game. He never loved the spirit of the game. He fell into boxing, and fair play to him. He's made a success. They've pumped him half to death, full of hype. So he made a success of himself. Fair play. But that's all he's done, man. He'll be known as the successful Fraudley Harrison. Yeah? The Fraudley Harrison that made it. That's what he'll be known as, in my opinion. He got very lucky in a super weak era. Bunch of old people like Pulev. Bunch of out of shape, bulbous people who can't punch like Mr. Blobby Double Cheese Ruiz. Lazy. That sums up the game. You lost to Mr. Blobby. Mr. Blobby Double Cheese Ruiz becomes the first Mexican heavyweight champion. Rather than lock in and say, I'm going to carry my country, Mexico, on my back, he goes off to McDonald's. Puts another 20, 30 pounds on. And gets in there. Naturally, he's never had the quickest feet, but put 30 pounds on top of someone, your feet are going to be even slower. That sums up this generation, people. People don't... You know what I mean? If I was Andy Ruiz, I'd be thinking, wow, man, I got this massive opportunity. Let me at least try. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, my speed, my movement, he runny. That's all Andy Ruiz had to say after the fight. He didn't say, oh, I'm bulbous and slow as shit and couldn't hunt him down. Oh, and AJ's not the most fleet-footed, right? His name isn't Alexander Imad Usyk. AJ's legs are pretty stiff, especially if you put pressure on him and he gets tired. He's a big old muscly oaf. If you press him, his legs are going to get tired. Ruiz just wanted to stand there. Oh, he's not standing right in front of me. You should have known that, though. In preparation for camp, you should have known, okay, there's a good chance here he's going to shit himself after the first fight and run. We need to make sure we're lighter so we can be all over him. Pressure him. No, not Ruiz, not the new age. It's victim. Oh, I won, but he didn't stand there and fight my fight. Make it your fight, man. Walk straight in and stick it on him. Like the Mexican style would do. Walk straight in there. No back steps. That's what Double Cheese Ruiz could have done. Instead, he decided to stand there and get his head boxed off. That's what he chose to do. And that's the guy AJ beat for the belts to get his belts back. That's the guy that AJ lost to and beat. And then he went on to fight Pulev. So this generation's... Vladimir was like 40 years old as well. Vladimir was 2 years out the ring, 40 years old. That was his claim to fame. Fair play to him. What's he done since then, though? What's AJ's big win? What's his prime win? Does he even have, like, a Tyson Fury or... Who's he got on there? Let's have a think. He lost to Usyk. Headline wins. In terms... When I say headline, I mean prime and proper operators. I mean, let's get his... resume up. I don't think he has no proper operators on there. Really, they're all kind of like Takams. Everyone's had to go on Takam. Parker at that point in time was useless as well, if we're honest. It's all them kind of ones there. It's not AJ's fault yet, but that's the truth. They're all the plumbers kind of thing. Who have we got on here when he was champion? So he lost to Usyk. Pulev, 50 years old. Andy Ruiz, Double Cheese Ruiz. Povetkin, 40 years old, 50 years old. Parker, shit himself. Takam. Klitschko, 40 years old. Molina, Charles Martin, Brazil. There's no headline wins on here. There's no, like, even Tyson Fury level, which isn't all that either. It's not all that, man. There's no Tyson Fury on there. I'm not even going to mention Wilder. Wilder's no good. But even a Wilder, to be fair to AJ, he did want that fight. But still, it's not whether it's his fault or not. There's no standout. The one prime dude he fought was Andy Ruiz, who's untested. Jerome Miller walked straight into him. That's why I don't rate it. Jerome Miller literally walked right into him. Ruiz couldn't do nothing. So how good is Ruiz? You fought one prime dude called Andy Ruiz. That's the fact of the situation. AJ's fought one man in his prime whilst he was champion. And it was Andy Ruiz, and he got popped. Povetkin was 40. Parker as well. He did box Parker up, but Parker shit himself, man. Parker was scared to death in that fight. He was proper scared in that fight. Okay, I'll give AJ the Parker one as well, but it was 12-round stinker. It was a stinker, that fight. Proper stinker. So that tells you what you need to know, people. He lost to one prime dude, and he had a stinker with another prime dude. It was a proper... That was the start of the stinkers. Joe Parker, it was a proper... For a heavyweight fight, it was like, oh man, we fell off. It was new age. There was no proper getting at it at all. Then you got boxed up by Usyk. Mbongo was 40 years old as well, man. If we're honest, 40 years old in Bongo. That's probably his highlight win. He's 40 still though. Athletic or not, when you're 40, you ain't 30, man. You're just not. It's not the same. Things aren't going to work the same at 40 as they do 30. Same as 50. Same as 60. But it's all that one of them. Anything above, I'd say 34 probably. You start falling off. 35. And I got on a side mission here. Beterbiev's phenomenal. He's 40, man. And he's still... Bivol didn't want to stand with him. The rematch is going to be fascinating. That could go either way, to be honest. I'm going to put some bread on Beterbiev on principle. Back in the pressure fighter. But I'm not going to be shocked at all. I think... Well, we'll find out what Bivol really felt in there. Bivol might look back and say, oh, I could have held my feet some more. And if he does, and Beterbiev doesn't adjust, I can see how Bivol could do a little bit more each round and end up nicking more rounds. But time will tell. Anyway... As far as this AJ cat goes, in a way, is it sad it's end of an era? But the era was the era of hype. It really was. Fury was hyped up, no end. He can do it all. He can box. He can't box, it turns out. He can fight. He can't fight either. He had 2 rounds to show us he could really phenomenally box or really phenomenally fight. He can't do either. Yeah. It's not a case of, well, I beat Usyk's that good. He didn't even try, man. He did try to box, but you got punched up. So you ain't that much of a good boxer. You can't be, in my opinion, when you're 6'9" and you're getting outboxed by a guy who's 6'3". That's not what I'd call a great boxer. Yeah. And what's Fury done to be accoladed as great? I think I did a video a month ago or 2 weeks ago on the biggest bum of Britain, and our conclusion was it's got to be Fury. Fury's only ever fought one decent fighter. It's only ever beat one allegedly decent fighter, unproven fighter, and that was Wilder. That's it. He lost that first fight as well. He lost the first fight, got put down twice. Again, showing how good his boxing was. That was Fury's most boxy performance. If he was that good, he wouldn't have been sparked out by Wilder, the basketball player. Yeah? Romain Stavern didn't get sparked out by Wilder in the first fight. Oops. Yeah? So Wilder's not that good. If he was, he'd have knocked out straight up. Romain Stavern stands there like this. Straight up and down. If you couldn't spark him out, right? That was prime Wilder as well. Wilder would never be better than he was going into his first world title fight as such. Never more motivated than whatever else. He couldn't do nothing with Romain Stavern. Couldn't do nothing with him. Couldn't put a dent in him. And yet we're led to believe that Fury is so good at boxing. He got put down. Every fight he had with Wilder, he got put down, apart from the second one. Mbongo puts him down. Mbongo, he's 40, number one. Number two, he's never boxed before in his life. Number three, his legs are stiff. So if he was any half good at boxing, there's no way Mbongo put you down. Oops, you got put down. So forget about Fury. Fury's the biggest player in Britain for sure. And given his hype, at least AJ can't believe the lick he's hit on the public. He's like sitting there like, oh man, God, man, thank God for this lick I've hit. He's grateful for the coins. Fury actually sells it like he's doing something. He's no good. Useless. And I think Dubois is going to turn out. The way it's setting up, for some reason, Dubois hasn't captured the public's imagination. It's quite odd, isn't it? I'm not sure why that is. Because really, Dubois, I'm sorry people, at this point in time, Daniel Dubois has a better resume than AJ. Yeah? Miller beat Ruiz. Dubois stopped him for the first time in his career. And that same Miller didn't get stopped by Andy Ruiz. In fact, Miller was all over Ruiz. Hrgovic, Dubois stops him. Hrgovic, yeah, is at least, I put him leagues above. We've just identified Ruiz and Parker are the only prime wins AJ has. Hrgovic is better than both of them. Fact, no doubt. And we know that because he was winning the first 5 rounds, clearly. Oops. And then he sparked AJ out. And time will tell if he sparks out Parker, the new improved Parker. AJ went life and death with a Parker who didn't want to be there. If Dubois sparks out Parker, that almost completely erases these two wins here. Miller beating Ruiz and Parker. If Dubois fills Parker in, that AJ's whole prime resume is expunged. Yeah? Because Dubois has done 2 things that AJ couldn't do. AJ couldn't walk through Parker, and he couldn't walk through Ruiz/Miller. Miller and Ruiz, I think it's fair to say they're about the same level. Miller's better. He's more durable. And he's got a better gas tank. I think Miller, we saw the fight. He lost that fight, Ruiz. Didn't do nothing in there. Hand broken allegedly or not. So I'd say at this point, given their age as well, Dubois is only 27. Yeah, you can look at the Joyce loss and say it's a bit... But Dubois was winning that fight as well. He was up on the cards until the eye injury happened. People, guess what happens if AJ breaks his eye socket? Oops. If AJ got his eye socket broken in any of these fights, he ain't doing nothing that Dubois hadn't done. Okay, the Usyk fight. You can say AJ had a better loss to Usyk. Did he though? At least Dubois put a dent in Usyk. He did quit though. That was a bad look. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That sucked. That was... In terms of highs and lows, for me, Dubois has better highs than AJ, but he also has worse lows. This was a bad low here. This was bad. This was bad. This was not good. This was not good at all. He quit off a jab. That was not good. But again, he's in the redemption phase now. AJ never had that. Dubois come from the lowest depths and he's reached the highest highs, if I'm honest, at this point. AJ, he fell off against Ruiz and he never recovered. He never came out red hot. Dubois come out red hot. People, if this was AJ here, if AJ had quit off a jab against Usyk, he'd be doing this. Choking for the next 5 years. Dubois came straight out, red hot, Yardie tunes in tow, old school Ital reggae tunes in tow. And he's on these dudes' arse. Pause. No Diddy. So Dubois is the one, man. This is the prophet. The great prophet Daniel Maximus Danelius. I told you this already. I tried to pass you man these bars. He's up next now. No one can touch this man. Yeah? Because Dubois and his dad, they get it. You, and he's shown that. You, not God, not your mate, not the Romans, not the monarchies, not the kings, not the queens. You are the one who can do people some proper harm. No one else can help you. No amount of psychological whoop-de-woo is going to change the fact you have to get in there and be proper hard. AJ still don't get that, or he doesn't want to accept that. I imagine it's a hard reality to accept. I have to be really hard tonight. In these estrogenic times, clearly it's showing that way. Look at Fury. Fury had a chance, 2 chances to accept. It's time for me to be hard tonight. He bungled both of them. AJ had 2 opportunities against Usyk to say, it's time for me to be hard tonight. And he bungled it. And I'm telling you, how this story ends is, yes, Dubois fell off. He bungled the first fight of Usyk. How the second fight ends? Seriously. Yeah, I'll tell you this now for free. There'll be a whole bunch of man in my comments saying, oh, YB. Oh, Usyk was old. That's what's coming next. But Usyk will do what's honourable, man. When Dubois punches head off properly this time, weighs all over him, 250 pounds of inside Ital Yardie reggae tunes. Usyk, he'll do the Ali versus Lister, man. He'll go out respectfully and pass on the baton. That's how life's supposed to go. The old lion gets got by the young lion. That's how it's supposed to go, man. And he'll do that. He'll oblige for sure. He will oblige. He won't have a choice. The will be all over him. Seriously, proper. Sucking in like this. Pop, pop. Pop, pop. Bash. Bash. That's what he'll be doing on his ass. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. AJ, just keep sucking off Tyson Fury for a fight, man. Stop talking about heavyweight championship. You don't want that one no more. Beat Fury if you can. That fight's a good fight. That's the only fight that's good as well. I don't want to see him in there with Dubois again, to be honest. I'm not sure what he's going to do. That fight can come around again. If you can't beat Fury twice, you ain't going to beat Dubois or Usyk again anyway. So this could be the end for you. You either beat Fury twice or you lose and then you just go somewhere else because you finished then, for sure. I don't want to hear about no more comebacks, no more God, no more whoop-de-whoop, and oh man, I can't stop until I've achieved my goals. We've been hearing that, man. We've been hearing that for how many years, and all we've seen is stinkers. Seriously, that's all we've had is stinkers from this guy. Wallin was a stinker. Bumlenius was a stinker. Franklin was a stinker. Usyk was 2 stinkers. Pulev was a stinker. Ruiz 2 was a stinker. The stinker after stinker, man. He's been that way since what year? 2019, knocking on for 6 years now. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, like the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this on people. The St. Luigi, best believe it, folks. No doubt about it.